Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya, Radhikaya Tadalaya, Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya, Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Branda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So dear devotees, you are welcome for continuity of our study of Srimad Bhagavatam Bhakti Vedant 10th Canto Chapter 8. We are in the last section. In verse number 45, which was most important verse as far as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving the information that this is Paribhasha Sutra verse or the central verse for our Krishna's pastime in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mathura, Dwarka, Vrindaban. So that verse is, here is the verse, quite lengthy purport we have read. "45. Traya cha upanishadebhischa Sankhya yogaischa satvataihi upagiyamana mahatmayam Harim samanyatatmajam." Three Vedas. Not only three Vedas, I think Srila Prabhupada has given us a commentary about the Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and higher than that, my son. Karma Kand, Gyaan Kand, Upasana Kand, and in the Upasana Kand, the highest Upasana is Vishnu Upasana, and higher than is considering Krishna with a Vatsalya Bhav. In this way, Traivedya Veda, so that is higher than that. Cha Upanishadai, and Upanishada, and Sankhya is a Purusha, and Yogai, Sankhya Yogai, and Satvata is a Pancharatra in which the Supreme Lord is worshipped. Upagiyamana, all they are describing Mahima, the greatness of Supreme Lord, Harim. Samanayat Atmajam, as and considering Samanya, considering just ordinary her own son. This is the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are studied through the three Vedas, the Upanishad, the literature of Sankhya Yoga, and other Vaishnava literature. Yet Mother Yashoda considered the Supreme Lord her ordinary child. There is the highest of, this is the height, this is the height of actually. Oh, the third one is Sambandha, Abhidhe, and Prayojan. So, this is the essence of all Vedas, and Prema Pumartho Mahan is the topmost of all this. So these three are three Vedas. So Tri Veda is over. Mother Yashoda has surpassed all these stages. She is higher than all these. And then Chakravarti Pad has given a lengthy purport. And in the last line, what we realised is One should take this verse as Paribhasha Sutra of Krishna Leela. As a lamp sit in one place in dark room and lights up the whole room, so that statement in the scripture, which can reveal the meaning of all scriptures or regulate the meaning of the scripture, is called Paribhasha Sutra. This verse stands as a regulator for all the pastime related to Aishwarya, display of power and opulence, shown during the Krishna's Kaumar, means childhood, and Kishore means the uh, 10 to 15-year age past times in the Mathura, in Kurukshetra, elsewhere. And now, then there were two questions yesterday we discussed. Verse 46, Parikshit Maharaj is speaking what Nanda Baba and Yashoda has performed in their past life, that they had that opportunity, that Krishna was sitting on the lap and relishing the breastfeeding by Mother Yashoda. That was the question. And then the another question was, though the Vasudeva and Devaki, they gave birth to Krishna, but they could not relish the childhood pastime of Krishna. And that opportunity was given to Nanda and Yashoda. Although Krishna was so pleased with Vasudeva and Devaki that he descended as their son, they could not enjoy Krishna's magnanimous childhood pastime, which are so great that simply chanting about them vanquishes the contamination of material world. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, however, enjoyed these pastimes fully, and therefore their position is always better than that of Vasudeva and Devaki. Now we are starting today the new section, the story of Drona and Dhara. So we are starting from verse number 48 to 52, and that will be the end of this chapter. The story of Dhara and Drona. Sri Shukha Vacha Drona Vasunam Pravaro Dharaya Bharaya Saha Karishyamana Adeshan Brahmanastamavacha. Sukadeva Goswami said to follow the order of Lord Brahma. Drona, the best of the Vasus, along with his wife Dhara, spoke to Lord Brahma in this way. Srila Prabhupada writes in Brahma Santa, it is stated, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhave. So when Lord Krishna descends anywhere, he is accompanied by his own associates. These associates are not ordinary living beings. Krishna's pastimes are eternal, and when he descends, he comes with his associates. Therefore, Nanda and Mother Yashoda are the eternal father and mother of Krishna. This means that whenever Krishna descends, Nanda and Yashoda, as well as Vasudeva and Devaki, also descend as the Lord's father and mother. Their personalities are expansion of Krishna's personal body. They are not ordinary living beings. Maharaj Parikshit knew this, but he was curious to know from Sukadeva Goswami whether it is possible for an ordinary human being to come to this stage by sadhan siddhi, perfection by practice. There are two kinds of perfection, Nitya Siddhi and Sadhan Siddhi. Nitya Siddhi is a one who is eternally Krishna's associate, an expansion of Krishna's personal body. Whereas a Sadhan Siddh is an ordinary human being who, by executing the pious activities and following regular principle of devotional service, also come to that stage. Thus, the purpose of Maharaj Parikshit's inquiry was to determine whether an ordinary human being can attain the position of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Sukadeva Goswami answered this question as follows. Chakravartipad writes, because Krishna's appearance and his childhood pastimes are eternal. A childhood pastime eternal means today, right now, Krishna is appearing on some planet and he is killing Putana somewhere. and he has Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba as his father and mother somewhere on some planet every moment. So all his pastime are eternal. Nanda and Yashoda should also be Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated associate of Lord. A sadhan siddh is not qualified to attain the same post as Nanda and Yashoda. Knowing this and that, his answer should be suitable to the devotional nature of the question, Sukdev replied to King Parikshit with an indifferent attitude. Following the order of Brahma means the order to appear as Gop and Gopis in Vrindaban. So it is indifferent, question with an indifferent attitude. It means real answer will be revealed in the next chapter. The truth of the matter will be told in the next chapter. This is Laghu Vaishno Toshani. First, however, Sukdev gives an apparent truth till the end of this chapter in response to the question of what pious acts did they do. By explaining their sadhan, these expansion, these who are they, Dhara and Durun, they are expansion of Nanda and Yashoda, can be considered non-different from them. Drona was the best of the Vasus since he was the Ans of Nanda. Brahma told them to go to the area of Mathura and develop the mood of cowards and be friendly with Vasudeva. Sanatana Goswami Pada writes, such piety does not exist in this world. He asks the question with amazement. The two means Dhara and Vasu, Dhara and Drona, obtained the nectar of Krishna's infant pastime obtainable only by intense affection for the Lord by praying for the highest bhakti. In order to give this answer later, first the previous lives of the two are described in 3 verses. Drona was the best of the Vasus since he was an avatar of Nanda. Brahma told them to go to the arena of Mathura, same word Adesham. And the pillar is used to bestow respect for the order of greatness. Ha indicates joy or certainty. All this is well known. So this is about the tapasya of these. Garga Santa says Drona and Dhara, that they did the high grade of tapasya and then got benedictions. Verse 49. Jatayor nau mahadeve bhuvi vishveshware harau bhakti syat paramaloke yayanjo durgatim taret. Dronadhara said, they said to the Brahma, please permit us to be born on the planet Earth so that after our appearance, the Supreme Lord, the Personal Godhead, the Supreme Controller, and the Master of all planets will also appear and spread the devotional service, the ultimate goal of the life, so that those born in this material world may very easily be delivered from the miserable condition of material life by accepting this devotional service. Still our 2 devotees are missing. Srila Prabhupada's purport. This statement by Drona clearly indicates that Drona and Dhara are eternal father and mother of Krishna. Whenever there is a necessity of Krishna's appearance, Drona and Dhara appear first and then Krishna appears. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that his birth is not ordinary, janma karamcha me divyam. And then Ajopi san avyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san vipasuropi san prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atvam ayaya. although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Before Krishna's appearance, Dronadhara appear in order to become his father and mother. It is they who appear as Nanda Maharaj and his wife Yashoda. In other words, it is not possible for the sadhana siddha living beings to become the father or mother of Krishna. For Krishna's father and mother are already designated. But by following the principle exhibited by Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and their associate, the inhabitant of Vrindaban, ordinary living beings may attain such affection as exhibited by Nanda and Yashoda. When Drona and Dhara were requested to beget children, first because they were Brahmaji asked them to beget children, so they chose to come to this world and to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son Krishna. Krishna's appearance means paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam. Devotees are protected and miscreants are vanquished. Whenever Krishna comes, he distributes the highest goal of life, devotional service. He appears as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the same purpose, because unless one comes to the devotional service, one cannot be delivered from the miseries of the material world. Dukhalyam ashashvatam. Where the living beings struggle for existence, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Mami vanso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. The living entities in the conditioned life are my eternal fragmental parts. Because of the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include mind. The living entities are struggling to become happy. But unless they take to the bhakti cult, their happiness is not possible. This is very bold statement. Without bhakti, nobody can be happy. Krishna clearly says, Ashardhana Purusha Dharmasya aprapte mam eva mrityu sansara vartamani. Those who are not faithful to the path of devotional service cannot attain me. O conqueror of the foe, but return to the birth and death in this material world. Foolish person do not know how risky life is here if we does not follow the instruction of Krishna. Now this you add into the list of our essay about the purpose of Krishna conscious movement in the first 10th chapter of 10th canto. The Krishna conscious movement therefore has been started so that by practicing Krishna consciousness one can avoid the risky life of this material existence. There is no question of accepting or non-accepting Krishna consciousness. It is not optional, it is compulsory. If we do not take to Krishna consciousness, our life is very risky. Everything is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, to learn how to become free from the miserable condition of material existence, Bhagavad Gita as it is the preliminary study. Then if one understands Bhagavad Gita, one can proceed to Srimad Bhagvatam, and if one advance further, one can study Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are therefore presenting these invaluable books to the whole world so that people may study them and be happy, being delivered from the miserable condition of conditional life. Chakravarti Rapad writes, this verse referred to their future lives, means future lives of Nanda and Yashoda, like that, Drona and Dhara, of Nanda and Yashoda. Mahadeva means one who has great pastimes. Drona and Dhara would be born on the earth, Bhuvi, where the Lord would appear. Vishweshwar means the Lord who maintains the full power through appearing within the material universe. According to the statement of Uddhava in Srimad Bhagvatam 3.2.15, Krishna is the master of Narayana, and Brahma appeared along with his plenary portion such as Mahavishnu, Matsya and Kurma. In other words, Krishna is Puran or full. Hari means he who is still the mind. According to the logic of seeing the result, one can infer the cause. The word Parama Bhakti must mean Vatsalya Bhakti, suitable to a mother and father. In the future, others who hear about the glories of the services we rendered to the coward boy Krishna will easily attain that most difficult to obtain liberation. In this way, Drona and Dhara performed pure sadhan bhakti. Say, they performed pure sadhan bhakti and prayed for prema bhakti. It was different from the bhakti of Prushni and Sutapa, who performed bhakti mixed with austerity and yoga. This was explained previously. The result of their bhakti was also seen. Laghu Vaishnava Toshani, though a portion of Nanda and Yashoda, they were qualified for the sweetness of the Lord. By association with sages, they developed a preference for Aishwarya and the Lord and expressed this to the Brahma. May we too, being born on the earth, develop prem, bhakti, for the Lord with great attractiveness, Harau. Who, though the Lord of the universe, is also engaged in the highest way, Mahadeve. This bhakti we think is the highest, Parama. This will be realized as parental affection when they become parents, since it said, according to your surrender I respond. From their prayers, which expresses giving up all other objects, it is understood that they had such bhakti from the previous times. But though they had it, the prayer is recited out of the prema, love, with great longing for that prem, because prem's nature is that it is never satisfied. Similarly, Dhruva prayed to Kuber for bhakti. To pray for getting the Lord as their son would be selfish desire for on their part. Asking for the Lord as their son would express them desire for great position. Thus they prayed for prem. Since there is a nature of prem, it cannot be otherwise. Krishna spontaneously responds to those who pray in this manner. The verse shows the superiority of their sadhan to that of Vasudeva and others, who wanted the Lord as their son. They wanted prem. They did not want son. They wanted prem. Since sadhan and sadhe, sadhan means practice, sadhe means goal, should both be pure bhakti. Everyone should pray with a desire only for pure prema to the Lord, not with selfish interest caused by envy found in the materialists. By our bhakti of hearing and chanting, all other people, they are saying, by our bhakti means bhakti of Vasudeva and Nanda, or bhakti of the Drona and Dhara. By our bhakti of hearing and chanting, all other people, loka, will cross material existence. Some versions say loke. By this bhakti, others in the world, loke, will cross material existence. Though both Dhara and Yashoda are pure Vatsalya Bhava, Yashoda's bhav was superior because of the naturalness of her motherly affection. May we have the highest bhakti when we are born in this world, Sanatana Goswami writes. Previously they had bhakti, but now they wanted intense pure bhakti with affection for the Lord as their son. One attains the Lord as one's son from pure practice of bhakti. Focus on that intention. We should have the highest bhakti for that who engage in the highest play, Mahadeva. The Lord appears in this world to play as a pastime. He is Lord of the all lords, Vishveshwara. As the Supreme Lord, He is the avatar, He is source of all avatars. Or He is directly the Lord of the universe. Though He appears on earth, Bhuvi, and thus He has great effulgence, Mahadeva. So Maha means great and Deva means effulgence also. Deva also means the pastime. Since he manifests unlimited powers and thus he attracts the world, Harau. By this bhakti, all people easily cross the ocean of sansara, which means repeated birth and death, difficult to cross. This is a secondary result, indicated by the word easily. A fire to be used for cooking easily drive away the cold. Or by bhakti, all the people can easily surpass the goal of liberation, which is hard to attain for others. Liberation is hard to surpass because it is glorified profusely by those desiring liberation. This statement discards liberation and glorifies bhakti. Or by our bhakti, by the power of hearing and chanting, others will be able to cross the ocean of samsara. Drona said, O Brahma, may Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, become our son, and may we both always have love and devotion for him, the Lord who removes the suffering of his devotees. Love and devotion for him enable living entities to cross the impassable ocean of the repeated birth and death. O Brahma, we too who are performing austerity desire nothing else. So out of the 8 Vasus, this is Drona is one of the Vasu, and this is the verse number 50. Astvaiti uktas sa bhagavan vraje drona mahayashaha jajne nanditi kyato yashoda sadhara bhava. When Brahma said, yes, let it be, the most fortunate Drona, who was equal to Bhagavan, appeared in Brajapura, the Vrindaban, as the most famous Nanda Maharaj, and his wife Dhara appeared as Mother Yashoda. Because whenever Krishna appears on the earth, he superficially needs a father and mother. Dronadhara, his eternal father and mother, appeared on earth before Krishna as Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. In contrast to Suttapa and Prishni, they did not undergo severe penance and austerities to become the father and mother of Krishna. This is the difference between the Nitya Siddha and Sadhan Siddha. From this is the Prabhupada's purport, it appears Vasudeva and Devaki are Sadhan Siddha. From the Suttapa and Prishni are Sadhana Siddha. And here this is the final decisive statement by Chakravarti Pad. Carefully understand this. Drona was born in Viraj as Nanda and Dhara was born as Yashoda. Now, actually it should be understood that Drona and Dhara, who were sadhan siddha, entered into the Nitya Siddha form of Nanda and Yashoda at that time. This is the prime purport for understanding the real explanation. Drona and Dhara are sadhan siddha, they enter into the Nitya Siddha Nanda and Yashoda. Is this clear here to everybody?
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So it's not that Drona and Dhara they are an answer or a
No.
function
Yeah,
of
they are answer.
Nanda and Yashoda.
They are expansion. They are answer, but they are not Nanda and Yashoda.
Yes, they are not Nanda and Yashoda. So they remain identity remain as Drona and Dhara because they had this, uh, you know, blessings, then they entered the bodies of
Yeah,
Nanda and Yashoda.
this is throughout when we see the Dwarka Leela. All the
Yes.
Yaduvansis who are eternal associate of Krishna, they are in unmanifest pastime. But the but the annihilation of all Yaduvans was only the demigod portion. They entered into the Yaduvans, they went to the heaven. But the real Yaduvansis, they just entered into the unmanifest pastime in Dwarka. So there were also two personalities, original Yaduvansis and demigod entering into it for assistance and service to Sri Krishna. Similarly, the five Pandavas are eternal associate, but the Indra entered into the Arjuna, the Dharmaraj entered into Yudhishthir, and Havayudev entered into Bhimsen, and two Ashwani Kumar entered into the say Nakul and Sahadev. This is all, and they entered into the heaven on the way back. But the Pandavas went back to the spiritual world where because they belong to eternal associate of Krishna. So there are two personalities. This is the main thing I think most of us has to understand. There are two personalities. One further we can see Prabhupada will write, nobody can be Nanda and Yashoda, otherwise it will be Mayavad.
Yes.
One hand is up. Sutipriya, yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, okay, I understood that these are two personalities in one body here. But when after that, Nand and Yashoda, they went back to the spiritual world after this is done. Then where does these
They
devotees?
can either they can go back as a Drona and Dhara, and if they have some business as a Vasu, they can do as the demigods are doing, or else they can be promoted in the spiritual world as like Putana, they can be the Vatsalya Bhakta of Krishna. They will be the Vatsalya Bhakta of Krishna, but they cannot be Nanda and Yashoda. The main point is this.
So we can understand in a way that they can be Nanda and Yashoda here in this world, in materialistic world where Krishna has come, so, but not in the Goloka.
Here also they are not Nanda and Yashoda. In the Nanda and Yashoda's original Nitya Siddha form, they entered to relish the childhood pastime or Vatsalya Prem.
Thank you, Guruji.
And usually all the demigods, the Vasus are also demigods. When they come here in some pastime, on the way back they have to go back to their only same post which they are coming from, and after that they can go back to the spiritual world. And also we have this explanation that every most of them demigods have their spiritual form in the spiritual world also, and they have their material form in the material world.
Hare Krishna. In text 45, it says, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that sometimes Nanda Maharaj was sometimes separated from Krishna, whereas Yashoda was never separated from Krishna at any
Oh,
moment.
that is only that is only in pastime, because he goes to herd the cows and come back in the evening. So for some time he is
Oh, okay, okay,
separated. It's
okay.
in that
It's different
sense.
context. Okay.
In that
Yes.
sense. Okay, here is the word Bhagavan modifies Drona to show great respect. One version has Saeva Iha instead of Sa Bhagavan. That person Drona took birth in Burj as Nanda, who became even more famous than previously, Mahayasha. Saha, now this Srila Sanatan Goswami part writes, Saha indicate Nanda, not his expansion Drona. Saha is in the verse which indicate Nanda, not his expansion Drona. When the Lord appeared as Swayam Bhagavan with his full form, his associate also appear in that their full form, means Nanda and Yashoda. He was born in Mathura district. He was very famous. This was indicated by his prayer. Or more than previously, he was famous. He was known as Nanda. This also indicated his fame, giving joy to all. Nanda means giving joy to all. Mahayasha can modify both Nanda and Yashoda. Now Brahma said in Garga Samhita, although I myself cannot attain benediction like you request for, I grant that your desire will be fulfilled in another birth. So to Drona and Dhanad he told like that. So Nath said Drona was born as Nanda on the earth and Dhana was born as Yashoda. To fulfill Brahma's words, Lord Krishna went from his father's place to the village of Braj. This is the on the summit of the Mount Gandhamadhan, I heard these beautiful, sweeter than nectar pastime of Lord Krishna from mouth of Narayan Rishi. By the mercy of Narayana, I attained the goal of life. Narad saying, I have told you what they said. What more do you wish to hear? Okay, verse number 51. Tato bhakti bhagavati putri bhute janardhane dampatyoranitram asit gopa gopishu bharata. Thereafter, Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Bharatas, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead became the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they maintained continuous, unswearing devotional love in parental affection. And in their association, all the other inhabitants of Vrindaban, the Gopas and Gopis, developed the culture of Krishna Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada writes, although when the Supreme Personality of Godhead stole the butter, yogurt and milk of the neighboring Gopas and Gopis, this teasing superficially seemed troublesome. In fact, it was an exchange of affection in ecstasy of devotional service. The more the Gopas and Gopis exchanged feeling with Krishna, the more their devotional service increased. Sometimes we may superficially see that a devotee is in difficulty because of being engaged in devotional service. But the fact is different. When a devotee suffers for Krishna, that suffering is transcendental enjoyment. Unless one becomes devotee, this cannot be understood. When Krishna exhibited his childhood pastime, not only did Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda increase their devotional affection, but those in their association also increase in devotional service. In other words, person who follow the activities of Vrindavan will also develop devotional service in highest perfection. Now the one meaning of word Janardhan is given by Chakravarti Pad and also given by other Acharya. The word Jana in Janardhan means Gopijan. It's like Gopijan. The same word is Jana, is like Gopijan. But Ardhan means meaning of Ardhan is twofold: asking and tormenting. Krishna is called Janardhan because he tormented gopis by stealing butter and other mischief and by asking for their breast milk. So tormenting and asking are the meaning of Ardhan, and Jan is Gopijan, like Gopijan, Janardhan. Nanda and Yashoda's Dampatiyor devotion for Janardhan existed from before Asit, and it was superior, Nitrant, to that of the other Gopas and Gopis. It is understood from this that some of the Gopas and Gopis had also practiced bhakti like Drona and Dhara in their previous lives. It means that some Gopa and Gopis are sadhan siddha and some are nitya siddha. Because of their bhakti, the Lord became their son and not the son of anyone else. Because of the purity of their bhakti, he became their son. Another version says putra, bhute. He is prayed to Janardhane, prayed. Janardhan means prayed for, by others like Brahma, but is not obtained by them since he was the most rare form, Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, Bhagavati, Krishna. Their bhakti was most praiseworthy in all events from previous time, Nitrant. That praiseworthy bhakti also existed in the chief of coward men and women who had naturally intense vatsalya. Because of Brahma's words, Tataha, he who is not a son becomes son of Nanda and Yashoda, directly, not being born from Vasudeva and Devaki. Or he was born along with a female form, Mahamaya Putri Bhute. If he was not their son, the intense bhakti would not be possible. Another version has Putra Bhute. He had the spiritual form of a son. This indicates their qualification of eternal bhakti. So Nanda and Yashoda have direct son Krishna along with Putri, which means daughter, Mahamaya. There is a destruction of birth and the rest of the sansar by remembering him, Janardhane. Or he is prayed to, Janardhane, by others like Brahma, but it's not obtained. This we have discussed. This indicates that he is the Supreme Lord. But he also manifests sweet form, qualities and pastime, Bhagavati. This is the great fortune of Nanda and Yashoda. Among the coward people, the bhakti of these two is at all times special. Or among all the coward with Vatsalya Bhav, those two had special bhakti because he was their son directly. O descendant of Bharata, just as you, having special bhakti to Krishna, are the chief of the descendant of the Bharata. Nanda and his wife had special bhakti for him. Or since Drona and Dhara are expansion of eternal Nanda and Yashoda, their bhakti is naturally the highest. Now they have merged into their origin, Nanda and Yashoda. Can you see the same thing again by Sanatana Goswami? Their bhakti and bhakti of the other cowards locative is constant as per the words of Brahma, because Brahma's blessing, the coward had this bhakti whose nature is to never be fully satisfied but constantly endeavor to please the Lord. Or just as Krishna respected Shiva and accepted the blessing from him of obtaining Samba, Kartikeya, Shiva's son, as son. This is some other Puranas story. Just as Krishna respected Shiva by accepting the blessing from him of obtaining Samba, son of Jambati, the Kartikeya, the son of Shiva, as a son. So Nanda respected Brahma. He just respected Brahma, who was eager for the Lord to appear, following Brahma's instruction. Otherwise, Brahma would not say. This is Brahma will say in his own prayers. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth wherever in this forest of Gokul, and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Lord Mukunda, and the dust of whose lotus feet is sought even today by the Upanishad. This is the 10:14:34. This is described in detail in Bhagavatam. The verse 52. Krishno Brahmanadesham Satyam Kartum Braje Vibho Sah Ramo Vasans Chakre Tesham Pritim Swalilaya. Thus the Supreme Personality Godhead, Supreme Personality Krishna, along with Balaram, lived in Vrindaban, Vrindaban, just to substantiate the benediction of Brahma. By exhibiting different pastime in his childhood, he increased the transcendental pleasure of Nanda and other inhabitants of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada, end of the purport. In order to fulfill the benediction of Brahma, May you attain Prema Bhakti. Krishna, along with Balaram, instilled Prem in all the hearts of in the hearts of Nanda, Yashoda, and all other Brajbasis, Chakre Tesham Pritim, through his wonderful pastime in Braja Gokul. Sukdev concludes this section from the point of view of apparent truth, but the real truth will be explained in chapter 9 concerning Nanda and Yashoda's good fortune. Since Krishna is completely independent as Swam Bhagavan to make true the benediction given by Brahma, who is the Guru for all the Lord's devotees in the universe, the bhakti of Nanda and Yashoda expressing the highest desire should appear in the manner from the ordinary perspective. He then appeared as their son in Vraj with Balaram, who was his greatest assistant in his pleasure to produce fame in the universe by not wavering from his obligation to the Brahma. He lived there and produced bliss to Nanda, Yashoda, and their associate by pastime intrinsic to his nature. This is the meaning according to the facts presented in this chapter. If this bhakti existed previously in Nanda and Yashoda, why did they have to receive Brahma's blessing? Because the pastime are under the control of bhakti of his devotees, Swalilaya. Krishna lived in Vraj to produce love in them. In doing so, he also made the blessing of Brahma come true. By his mercy, he showed Brahma's greatness to the world. Just as Nanda engaged learned Brahmins to bless his son in order to give them mercy, so Krishna engaged Brahma in giving blessing. By allowing Brahma to give blessing, he benefited Brahma. Since the coward already had full prem even without his blessing. In order to Nanda was that there would be highest bhakti, that order would be accomplished. With Balaram, Krishna lived in Braj and gave happiness to Yashoda and others by his extraordinary infant pastime. He spread all over Braj with his vegetated pastimes. He was capable of doing that. Vibhu, having pastime along with Balaram, suggests a special sweetness. Though the Lord appeared in order to benefit the world and experience special bliss with his devotees, he also did this to make the instruction of Brahma true. This was a particular detail. Or he followed the order of Brahma to avoid being accused of ignoring Vasudeva and Devaki. This is an interesting purport. This was particular to avoid being accused of ignoring Vasudeva and Devaki. Otherwise, later, when he manifested his powers, Vasudeva and Devaki would lament that they had been neglected in his infant pastime. But they could not, since was the order this was the order of Brahma. The special mercy of Lord to Nanda and Yashoda and the coward people related to Nanda and Yashoda more than to the Vasudeva and Devaki is shown. That is power. That is proper. Vasudeva and Devaki performed austerities to obtain the Lord as their son. Nanda and Yashoda only prayed for the highest bhakti. The Lord is famous as being affectionate to his devotees, and the benediction given by his devotees are greater than those given by Lord himself. That is illustrated in this incident. So Brahma is the greatest devotee of the Lord. He gave the blessing, so Lord fulfilled that. So by this this chapter is over. Now we can have some little discussion and then go to the next chapter. Yes, any question, comment, discussion before we go to the next chapter?
I'm just trying to understand this Dara, Una, and Yashoda.
125, one more is there. Who is the one more?
Oh. Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So Prabhuji, um, Drona and Dara, Yashoda and Nanda, they are Jivatmas, right? They're Siddha Jivatmas, but they are all Jivatmas. Is that correct?
Right?
So that means, and when Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are in Braj, they have material bodies?
No, Satchidanand. Like even Vasudeva and Devaki, we read that they are Satchitananda. They are Vishuddha Sattva. They all are Shuddha Sattva.
So their bodies are not material.
No, they are Shuddha Sattva. They are all descending from the spiritual world in their same bodies actually. Only this is a Leela pastime that they appear like, you know, ordinary, but they are not ordinary.
Okay. So in that case, in those bodies, there's two Jivatmas.
Yeah, it appeared that the Drona and Dhara entered into the body of the Nand and Yashoda. They are the other version we have read is they are expansion of Nand and they are not original, but they are expansion. They merge into Nand and Yashoda to relish the Vatsalya Prem, paternal, the parental affection.
So Prabhuji, the Nanda Yashoda are the Nitya Siddhas, right?
Yes, they are Nitya Siddha.
So they are not Jivas, then. How
No,
they will
Jivas are
be
Nitya Siddha. Jivas are Nitya Siddha. There are Nitya Siddha Jiva and Nitya Baddha Jiva. Divao Purusha ime lokakshar akshar evacha. There are two type of living entities, the liberated and conditioned. Yakshar akshar evacha. Conditioned and liberated. So they are also living. Huh?
Question, there is one question, what auspicious activities did Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj perform to achieve such perfection in ecstatic love? So they are already Nitya Siddhas, so why they have to perform the auspicious activities?
This is a question by Parikshat Maharaj.
No, that's another question. This is one question number 8. And question 11 is what was Sri Shuka reply when Sri Parikshit asked about Nanda Yashoda's sadhana to achieve their position? This is another question.
So what is the question?
8 number question is what auspicious activities did Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj perform to achieve such perfection in ecstatic love?
They are Nitya Siddha. They came from the spiritual world along with Krishna and Balaram, and Drona and Dhara. They did the some austerities and prayers to the Brahma to get the Vatsalya Prem, not Nanda and Yashoda. This is the question. Is there any other things there? I think that just
question
I think
looks like a trick question.
say
Because
again.
Nanda and Yashoda originally Nitya Siddhas, they could not be performing
Just
past activities.
just
But I
we
think it is Nanda and Yashoda and Gokul.
just we read the last line by Sanatana Goswami. These all are just for pastime that the blessing of Brahma is needed, but they don't need because they already have a full-fledged love of God in a parental mood. Yeah, they are Nitya Siddha, mother and father of Krishna. They don't have to do any austerities. No, it's not that.
Yeah. And the same question
So Prabhu, to
11 is
answer
same.
the question, could you mention that the portion of Dhara and Drona had to perform pious activities or sadhana bhakti to attain?
Yeah, they are sadhana siddha. They have a blessing of Brahma, the great devotee, and then they are expansion of Nanda and Yashoda, and they merge into Nanda and Yashoda to relish the childhood pastime. This is what actually from the purports we are getting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
How come the sadhana siddha can merge into Nitya Siddha?
Sadhana siddha can also be siddha, but they cannot replace the Nitya siddha. They can be the assistant to the Nitya siddha.
So if they once they grow and merged into the Nanda, then they become what they realize. Realization will be as Nitya Siddha.
No, no. When they will again, there will be cleavage again. They will go back from where they came, and Nandan Yashoda will go back to the Golok, because they simply wanted to relish the pastime. They wanted the pastime to be relished in a Vatsalya bhav.
That's right, Prabhu. But Nitya Siddha will have a higher capacity to understand the pastime, whereas the Sadhana Siddha will not have those same capacity.
He has become Siddhas. After sadhana, he has become also perfect. Nitya Siddha is eternally perfect, and sadhana Siddha, by the practice, he also become perfect. And then third one is a Nitya, the Kripa Siddha. Yeah, so when they become perfect, then they can relish.
They can relish.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
So is Bhishma Dev the best of Vasus, or is Nand Maharaj the best of Vasus?
Devata, Bhisham is also.
It is written Drona is the best of Vasus.
No.
And another place Prabhupada says that Bhishma is best of Vasus. So who's the best?
I think we have. Bhishma is also one of the Vasu. Yeah, he is a Dyu Vasu. I think his name is Dyu.
But Prabhupada, because in the first canto, in the prayers of Bhishma Dev, he says to Bhishma that Bhishma is the best of Vasus. And here also we say this Drona is best of Vasus.
Yeah, this
so
is
who's the best?
Both are best. Both are best in their own context. In then also you just go into the deep. It says Bhisham is eternally the servitude devotee of Krishna. Wherever Krishna appear, Bhisham also appear. That Vasu was only cursed to become, appear along with Bhisham Deva. But Bhisham himself is a eternal servitude devotee of Krishna in a Veer Ras, or in a chivalry. In one of the purport in first canto, you can find that out.
So in the list of the Bhagavats who are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, we mentioned, why don't say the residents of Vrindaban, some of them come in that list? When we say Prahlad, Janak, we name all these Mahajans in Srimad Bhagavatam. So why doesn't any of the inhabitants of Vrindaban come in the Mahajan list?
Why there are no 12 Mahajan in Vrindavan list?
Yes. When we list the Mahajans, why doesn't anybody from Vrindavan make it to that list?
Particularly speaking, none of them is Raga Noga Bhakta. I'm just saying as a whole, maybe one, but even Nard is not. He is a Vedic sadhan Bhakta. So Vrindavan Bhakta are only the Raga Noga.
But Bali Maharaj is also Kripa Siddha, right?
He is a Kripa Siddha to an extent, yes, but he is also Atma Nivedan, but he is not Raga Noga. None of them is Raga Noga. Even the devotees of the Krishna and Dwarka are not Raganuga, what to speak of other Mahajans.
Okay, so basically if you are Raganuga, then you can't be Mahajans.
See, Mahajan is for ordinary people to follow, generally speaking. For Raganuga, they have to follow the Ragatmik Bhakta of Vrindavan. They have not to follow the Mahajans.
Okay. Super. Thanks, Rose.
Okay.
By sadhana, you cannot follow Ragatmika. By sadhana bhakti, you cannot follow Ragatmika bhaktas in Vrindavan. So therefore, they are not given as examples of Mahajans. My other point, Prabhu, is this. So therefore, it's only with the Nitya Siddhas that the merging of the other sadhana Siddhas happen. Otherwise, they could not, no? Because every even when we see in Dwarka Lila, the portions of the devatas or the portions of the applicants or the sadhana, siddha devotees, they enter into the nitya siddhas almost always
Yes.
or always. Yeah.
Yeah, they have some service to do or some pastime to relish or some special sentiment for a time being, but then they go to their own original post and perform the devotion there, and the Nitya Siddha will continue in their unmanifest pastime.
Okay.
It's quite it's quite tricky subject, right?
So Prabhuji, if here we see Nanda Yashoda, they are eternal mothers and mother and father of Krishna.
Yes.
Why they have to pray to Brahma, to give them this position again?
No, actually prayed was the Dhruva and Dhara, not the Yashoda and Nanda, number one. Number two, then again we have the purport that what is the need of the Brahmins to bless Nanda. Why Nanda called the Brahman to bless Krishna? Krishna don't need blessing. So similarly, Nanda and Yashoda don't need any blessing, but this is just to give the respect to Brahma and to glorify the Brahma, because he is the guru of all the devotees in the world. That's what the Laghu Bhagavad Toshani we have this purport.
So now, yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Now, so the Nanda and Yashoda, so they also change positions, like they become Dhara and Drona.
Not they. Drona and Dhara, they can enter Nanda and Yashoda. Nanda and Yashoda are eternal.
So they're talking about the soul, Jivatma.
So there are two. It means there are two. There are two in that sense. Because the Vasu is a different soul, and the Nanda and Yashoda are liberated different soul. Even when somebody is ghost hunted, there are two souls living in one body. So what is the difference? What is the difficulty? Two more hands are up. Huh?
So basically what we are saying is Nanda and Yashoda are two separate souls. They are taking the position of Yashoda and Nanda. Drona and Dhara are two separate souls. They are taking the position of Yashoda and
They wanted to relish the parental mellows of Krishna and Brij. And only the possibility is that they can enter into Nanda and Yashoda, because Vasudha and Devaki don't have that parental pastime. So they were blessed by Brahma, but actually that's what I'm saying. It is the apparent answer. The next answer will be in the chapter 9. The real answer. So Astuti, your hand is up, and Lalita, Madhuri, your hand is up.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, may I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji, we were discussing that even Krishna, we have this Vasudev Krishna and Yashoda Nandan Krishna. So we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita today. So, there a little confusion in my mind. So we were saying, we read that, the two Krishnas, they become one when this Vasudev Krishna comes to Gokula. But when I had little confusion. We also say here that it's always that whenever Nanda and Yashoda are coming, we have Yashoda and Nand and Vasudev and Devaki here.
Right.
So that means every time when Vasudev Krishna is there, every time we have Yashoda Nandan also.
Now, actually speaking, in not, this is only Chaitanya Charitamrita says, by the coincidence this time it happened that there was a prayer for the unburdening the earth. Therefore Vasudev Krishna has to appear. Otherwise, Yashodanandan Krishna is appearing regularly. One day of Brahma.
So every time who is coming that is Yashodanandan.
One day of Brahma, Yashodanandan is coming, Swayam Bhagavan. Yes.
And,
But he has
and
all inside, but he include all. But not like this, they separate Krishna appear and then merge in him. But otherwise, when he comes, he has all the incarnation included within him.
understood, Prabhuji. And I think I have read somewhere like every time Krishna comes, it is not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes after him. Is that correct?
That's also most of the time it is when Krishna comes in the end of the Dwapar, the Mahaprabhu also come in the beginning of Kali Yuga, but not all the times.
So that means there are times when Yashodanandan Krishna is coming and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not coming.
It can be. It can be.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. It's not all the times. No. Yes, Lalita.
One question is, why did the demigods get into the other bodies? Like as you gave some example, Pandavas and some demigods were there. They went to heavenly planets and Pandavas went to the spiritual world. What could be the reason behind that?
What is the reason?
Behind that? Just
Reason?
they had a reason.
No, the reason is this is Krishna told to the Brahma that tell all the demigods to appear in Yadu Vansha because I am coming to Shri Priya for the pleasure of me and Shri is coming with me. You come with your wives, appear there to take part in my pastime. Just for the purpose of unburdening the earth from the demons, because they will help in that. But Krishna used Pandavas and Yadavas for unburdening the earth. He was simply playing flute and stealing butter. He has nothing to do with killing any demons or not. This is the job of the Pandavas and Yadavas and the other people. He don't do that. So they were invited for that purpose.
Okay, Prabhu, if time permits, can you please explain some more? Can you please give some more explanation about satisfaction purifies mind?
Oh, similarly for Rama's appearance, all the demigods appear and monkeys and other just to assist Lord Ramchandra in his pastime. Similarly, the demigods appears in Yadu Vansis to assist the Supreme Lord, because this is what Lord told to the Brahma, that tell them to appear along with their wives in the Yadu Vans.
Just to assist.
Yeah. Assist means this business of killing and all this is done by the assistants, not Krishna himself. This is not Krishna's business. He's only coming to give Raga Anuga Bhakti, which nobody else can give. And he's only coming to kill such devotees which cannot be killed by anybody else. And when he kills those, then he will liberate those devotees. This is a special Krishna's business. But the other things are done by the assistants, which come with Krishna to do the job.
Means those asuras cannot be killed by anybody else.
Usually they are killed by the Pandavas. This is what will come in 11th canto. Krishna used the Pandavas and Yadavas to unburden the earth, and then he wanted to give up them also, because the function was over. Then they are also relieved from their service. All the demigod portions are relieved, and the original eternal associate enter into the unmanifest pastime.
Yes.
When the function was over, then the Pandavas were not required, the Yadavas were not required. That portion of the demigod was not required because the function was over. But the eternal associates are always with Krishna. This is also in some purpose in the 11th canto. You can see that in the 10th canto that Krishna, after killing the Salva, did not go to the Dwarka. He came to the Vrindaban. Then all the Brajavasis, they wanted. Then they said, "We Krishna, we cannot now live in separation of you and without you." So Krishna took all the Brajavasis, Nanda Baba and Gopa and Gopis in one farm. He went back to the Golok, and other farm he entered into the Dwarka. This will come when the in 10th canto when discussing the slaying Salva.
Can we discuss about satisfaction purifies mind? Few more discussion if it is possible.
Say again. Not satisfied.
Satisfaction purifies mind. I wanted to get some more points because it's very difficult for me to understand. How does satisfaction purifies mind? What should I do so that my mind will not go away from me when I'm chanting, especially?
What you are saying is you are still not satisfied why the demigods are coming, and
No. My point is this is different question.
What is the question?
So different ways of purification was given in another verse, fourth shloka in this chapter. So there austerity purifies senses.
Oh, you are speaking about the Nanda Utsav.
Yes.
Yeah, Nanda Utsav, the principle, by sanskaras, birth is purified, by birth the body is purified, or by austerity senses are purified,
Yes.
by the spiritual knowledge soul is purified. This is by satisfaction mind is purified. That's what you are saying.
Yes, that day we did not have time to discuss more.
Uh-huh.
So today, if possible, by end of this chapter, can we have some more discussion?
What is the austerity of the mind from Bhagavad Gita? You read the word. Is there word something in that verse? Bhagavad Gita, austerity of the mind. Somyatvam. Can somebody find out the verse from Bhagavad Gita? Satisfaction purify mind.
Yes, Guruji.
Say again.
Guruji, is verse.
Mana somyatvam.
Mana prasada.
Prasadam means satisfaction. Prasadam means satisfaction, right? Mana prasadam. Somyatvam, peacefulness, or there's also somyatvam is also peacefulness, yes. And what the third, amanyata, what is that? What is the? Monam, keeping silent. Mona prasada somyatvam, monam atma vinigraha. Atma vinigraha means controlling the mind, right? Vinigraha, bhava samsuddhi, iti etat tapo manasam uchyate. And satisfaction is the first word, right? Simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. So the first word is satisfaction. So from Bhagavad Gita you get this this quote this verse, and then the I think problem is solved. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Santosh Dhan. I think there is also some saying, this wealth, that wealth, all is useless until unless you get Santosh Dhan, Sab Dhan Dhoor Saman, something like that. Until unless you have satisfaction, the mind will always wander here and there. The greatest wealth is satisfaction. Anybody know this? What I?
Yes, Godhan, Gajdhan, Bajidhan, or Ratandhan Khan, Jab Aaye Santosh Dhan, Sabdhan Dhuri Saman.
Right. This is what actually, this satisfaction only pacify the mind. Otherwise, the mind will go for that wealth, that wealth. So, greatest wealth for the mind is satisfaction. So,
but how can Prabhupada in the
say?
Prabhupada in the purport, he writes, the best course is to divert the mind to Vedic literature, which is full of satisfying stories, as and and full of satisfying stories. So the mind should be devoid of duplicity and removed from sense gratification. Basically, it's Krishna Katha. Basically, just
The
delving into Krishna Katha.
mental culture of Krishna consciousness is always absorbing in the pastime of Krishna in Kurukshetra and Vrindaban. That's Prabhupada's comment in Nectar of Devotion. Mental culture of Krishna consciousness. The satisfaction of mind is simply absorbing mind in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam.
Prabhu, I think we can get satisfaction only by the mercy of Krishna. So we should try to get the mercy of Krishna by serving the devotees.
So, yes, that's okay. We can get the mercy of Krishna only through the serving the devotees and following the rules and regulation of the devotional service. Yes. Actually, the word is satisfaction also will be when we connect ourselves with Krishna. As long as we are not connected with Krishna, we will never be satisfied. Mind is the vibhuti or is the opulence of Krishna. Indriyanam manaschasmi in Bhagavad Gita. And anything which is a opulence of Krishna, it can only be satisfied when it is going back to Krishna. Until unless mind is not engaged in always thinking of Lord's feet of Krishna, it will never be satisfied. Part of the earth, stone or dirt you throw anywhere will come back to the earth. You throw water anywhere, it will go to the ocean because the source is the ocean. Similarly, you lit any wick, the flame will go up because sun is the original source of all light. Similarly, source of mind is Krishna. So unless mind go to Krishna, it will never be satisfied. Is it okay? We can start the chapter 9.
Prabhuji, I wanted to just add.
Yes.
Actually, for at least for me, simple is to see all the gurus in ISKCON. They are just satisfied with whatever they are fed, whatever sleep they get. Yeah. So they're always busy with only Krishna. So and whatever Krishna gives through devotees, they are just satisfied. They have agreed to accept Krishna's plans. This is where the satisfaction comes in. This is how I see them. Whatever food you give, even if it is salty, they will keep quiet. And for me, I am agitated. That's when I am not satisfied. I need my way, but they are ready for Krishna's way.
You are elevated soul. The devotee should never be satisfied because he has to increase preaching. If the gurus are satisfied, it means they are not preaching.
No, they are satisfied for material things.
Anyway, this is my. As long as we are satisfied, then we are just dormant. We should always have anxiety for Krishna. That is the anyway. What you are saying is good. I think good, very nice vision. But we are living with all of those. It's very difficult to see everybody satisfied in this world. It's very difficult.
Prabhu, I think this satisfaction is a sabha. And the sabha comes according to our karmas. And it goes from one body to another body to another body to another body. If we perform sukriti.
So, as long as we have mind, it means we are in the material world. So, it is part of the repetition. Okay, that's also right. So satisfaction means to dissolve the mind from hankering here and there and focus.
Yeah, no desire. Whatever comes.
I think these topics will never end because our mind will never be satisfied. So better we should continue, finish our Bhagvatam. While Mother Yashoda was following Krishna to drink her breast milk, she was forced to stop because she saw the milk pan boiling over on its oven. The maidservants being engaged in other business, she stopped, allowing Krishna to drink from her breast and immediately attended to the overflowing milk pan. Krishna became very angry because of mother's behavior and devised a means of breaking the power of yogurt. Because he created this disturbance, Mother Yashoda decided to bind him. These incidents are described in this chapter. Oh, this will continue till the next chapter. All right, we can read this. One day, the maidservants, being engaged in other work, Mother Yashoda was churning the yogurt into the butter herself. This is the meaning. In the meantime, Krishna came and requested her to allow him to suck her breast milk. Of course, Mother Yashoda immediately allowed him to do so. But when he saw that the hot milk on the oven was boiling over, and therefore she immediately stopped allowing Krishna to drink the milk of her breast and went to stop the milk on the oven from overflowing. Krishna, however, having been interrupted in his business of sucking the breast, was very angry. He took the piece of stone, broke the churning pot, and entered a room where he began to eat the freshly churned butter. When Mother Yashoda, after attending to the overflowing milk, returned and saw the pot broken, she could understand that this was the work of Krishna and therefore went to search for him. When she entered the room, she saw Krishna standing on a ulkal, a large mortar of grinding spices, having turned the mortar upside down. He was stealing butter hanging from the swing and was distributing the butter to the monkeys. As soon as Krishna saw that his mother had come, he immediately began to run away, and the Mother Yashoda began to follow him. After going some distance, Mother Yashoda was able to catch Krishna, who, because of his offenses, was crying. Mother Yashoda, of course, threatened to punish Krishna if he acted that way again, and she decided to bind him with rope. Unfortunately, when the time came to knot the rope with which she wanted to bind him was short by a distance equal to the width of the two fingers. When she made the rope longer by adding another rope, she again saw that it was short by two fingers. Again and again she tried, and again she found the rope too short by two fingers. Thus she became very tired, and Krishna, seeing his affectionate mother so tired, allowed himself to be bound. Now, being compassionate, he did not show her his unlimited potency. After Mother Yashoda bound Krishna and became engaged in other household affairs, Krishna observed two Yamla Arjun trees. Yamla means twin, which were actually Nal Kuber and Manigriv, two sons of Kubera, who had been condemned by Narad Muni to become trees. Krishna, by his mercy, now began to proceed towards trees to fulfill the desire of Narada Muni. Verse number 1 to 5, Mother Yashoda personally churning yogurt for Krishna. Verse number 1 and 2, Sri Shukovacha. Ekada grahadashishu yashodananda gehini karamantaranyaktaso nirmanta soyam dadhi yani yani gitani tadabala charitani cha dadhi nirvanthane kale smaranti tanyagayata. Ekada, the one meaning of ekda is once upon a time, one day. The another meaning of ekda, ek means one, da means one who can give. It means Yashoda always carrying Krishna, and if you ask, she can give you. So she is also ekda. Ekda could be Yashoda also. Grahadashishu means all the maid servant of the house. They were engaged. Karmasu anyantaranyaktasu. They were engaged in other works because on that day, because next day was the yajna for Indra, a big festival. So there was much work in the home. So she engaged all the maids of the house to the other work. And who did that? Yashoda, the one who gives the glories to somebody and everybody. And she gave the one glory to Krishna, which is not even in the Vedas, named Damodar. Nanda Gehini. It means Nanda Maharaj. Gehini means his wife, who is spreading the bliss all around. Nirmamantha means churning herself. Swayam means personally. She is a queen. It was not her job. So many maid servants were supposed to do, but she was churning Dadhi, the yogurt. Why she was doing? She said so many people are complaining that he's going to eat butter somewhere else. Today I will use my own loving feeling to make the butter and I will feed him, then I'll see how he's going to steal butter anywhere. This was her mood. Now Yani hi Gitani, and then while she was doing the churning business with the body, she was also singing the different songs about the Krishna's childhood pastime, which has till now has happened. So one day Krishna saw the full moon on the sky and he said, "What is this?" And some gopi says, "Oh, this is a butter." Or say, "I need this." So Yashoda said, "Well, this butter has a poison on this black spot. Nobody eats that." No, I need this. Then she has some oil pot and inside this moon and said, Chanda Khilona, then I need the toy. So these are the some Putana, killing of Putana. This type of songs, always somebody want to be absorbed in somebody, then always these are the songs there. Tadabala Charitani, the pastime of his childhood pastime. Dadhi Nirmanthan Kali, again Nirmanthan means is a activity, is a cultivation. Sumranti, and Sumranti is a function of mind. So her body, her mind, and her words all were engaged, and that is devotional service. So this is the two verses. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, one day when Mother Yashoda saw that all the maid servants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna. And in own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities. Srila Prabhupada writes, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, quoting from the Vaishnava Toshani, means Srila Sanatana Goswami, the incident of Krishna breaking the pot of yogurt and being bound by Mother Yashoda took place on the Deepavali day or Deepamalika. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very gorgeously in the month of Kartik by the firework and lights, especially in Bombay, everywhere. So this pastime took place on Deepavali, a day before Govardhan Puja. It is to be understood that among all the cows of Maharaj Nanda Maharaj, several of Mother Yashoda's cow ate only grass so flavorful that the grasses would automatically flavor the milk. It's called Padam Gandha cow. Padam means lotus, Gandha means fragrance. There were 8 cows. They were especially kept for Krishna. They had a special grass and they are called Padam Gandha cows. Mother Yashoda wanted to collect the milk from those cows, make it into the yogurt, and churn it into the butter personally. Since she thought that this child Krishna was going to the houses of neighborhood gopas and gopis to steal the butter because he did not like the milk and yogurt ordinarily prepared. While churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing about the childhood activities of Krishna. It was formerly a custom that if one wanted to remember something constantly, he would transform it into the poetry or have this done by the professional poet. It appears that Mother Yashoda did not want to forget Krishna's activities at any time. For us, chanting Hare Krishna is the best way to always remember Krishna. Therefore, she poeticized all the Krishna's childhood activities. Srila Prabhupada is writing something in journal, such as killing Putana, Aghasur, which is going to be later. Saktasur already done, Trinavarth done. While churning the butter, she sang about these activities in poetic form. This should be the practice of person eager to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. This incident shows how Krishna consciousness Mother Yashoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. Prabhupada is giving hint of Raga Noga Bhakti. Now, this chapter describes how Krishna stopped Yashoda from churning yogurt in order to drink her breast milk, and how Yashoda put Krishna down to go elsewhere. Number 1, the verse 1, it is written something like that. Krishna became angry because he was not finished drinking, so he broke the churning part. This is not verse, this is a continuity. Stole butter from the next room and bound up by the Mother Yashoda. Now, you bind up the people, Krishna, Yashoda is saying something, somebody say, you bind up the people who are engulfed in the theft, anger and other low qualities and make them cry. Now you, Krishna, who have become implicated in the theft, overwhelmed with the anger and bound up of the Yashoda, are crying. Most astonishing and uncommon parental love, Vatsalya Prem, wherein Krishna become the object, VIHE, and the Nanda and Yashoda were the shelter, Ashriya. This is just opposite. Usually Krishna is Ashriya, but here Krishna has become VIHE. Must have been the result of most extraordinary and unparalleled form of sadhan. Parikshit had asked question to the Sukdev, but the story of Drona and Dhar did not reveal such extraordinary sadhan. Seeing that Parikshit was not too pleased, Sukdev told him about Krishna's Damodar past Leela to give the real answer to Parikshit's question. What past auspicious activities did Yashoda and Nand Maharaj perform to achieve the perfection of getting Krishna as their son? On the Deepavali day, festival day of the lighting ghee lamps, Yashoda began churning yogurt for Krishna's pleasure. She became absorbed in the thought how, from among her husband's countless cows, there were 7 or 8 who were as rare as horse with one black ear. Anybody remember one black ear horse somewhere in 9th canto? Not 100. Some pastime. 9th canto.
Kadru and Vinpa.
Huh?
You can go ahead, Mataji.
Who is saying?
Someone put the condition that we want so many horses with black.
Who said?
I don't remember
Kadru
exactly.
and Vinpa.
Huh?
Kadru and Vinpa.
Kadru and
Kadru and Vinpa.
No.
Kadru and Vinta.
What about
Mother of Garud. Mother of Garud ji.
Ninth canto. Satyavati, daughter of Jamadagni, Richak Rishi came for marriage and said, bring the horses. He went to the Varun and got the horses.
Yes, yes.
I think the modern education in which we are trained, when one class is over, we leave the books, we forget everything about that class, and we go to the next class. The old class is gone forever. But this is not Bhagavatam. It should continue with us. What do you think? One word must remind you the whole story. Is Satyavati right? Gadi's daughter, Gadi's.
Yes, Prabhuji, same.
Right. Okay. Who, these cows who ate the most fragrant grass and who gave the tastiest fragrant milk from the for the satisfaction of her son. Yashoda personally churned because she wanted to make special butter for her son. How could her servant, who often burned the milk, do this properly? Driven by the stubbornness arising from Vatsalya Prem. Stubbornness. This is also Sanchari Bhav, says it's a special type of Bhav. Arising from Vatsalya Prem, Yashoda concluded that others could not do the job properly. From that day forward, Yashoda resolved that she would prepare all Krishna's butter, milk, and other eatables. But she could not do even today. They would be so tasty that Krishna would no longer go to others' houses to steal. Yashoda was churning the best yogurt from among the countless samples that she had prepared the day before with her own hands. This verse 2 is by the way. The ladies of the Virja poeticize all the Krishna's childhood pastimes. Having collected all these songs, Mother Yashoda began to sing these songs in order to pacify her longing to see Krishna, who was sleeping in another room. Okay. Giving an example, Laghu Vaishnatoshni, giving an example of the pastime more extraordinary than previous, and later ones also. Later ones, suitable to show the real answer to the Parikshit's question and giving up the subject of stealing yogurt and milk. Sukdev Goswami. Sukdev Goswami remembers and then begins to describe that pastime. See, among all the Komar Leela childhood pastime, this is the climax and the best and the topmost pastime, Damodar. Yashoda means she gives fame. She gave fame to Krishna by showing how he is controlled by Prem, by agreeing to be tied up. Since she is half of her husband's body, Nanda's greatness is also suggested in the word Nanda Gehini. Half of Nanda's body is Nanda Gehini, which means wife of Nanda. Or also the meaning is one who spread the happiness in the house. Geha means house, Nanda means happiness. One day when all the servants were engaged in other household chores, which were not daily, because next day was the Govardhan, Indra Puja. Yashoda was churning yogurt superior to all other yogurt in order to offer it to the deity for her child's protection and then offer it to the Krishna to eat. Since she reserved only the best for him, she churned the yogurt with certainty. Otherwise, it was impossible that she would alone churn excellent milk from unlimited cows famous in scripture and local culture. The others in the house were engaged in the special job, giving up their regular services since all others were busy. It is understood that the cowherds also on that day were going here and there since they were arranging for the sacrifice for Indra in Vraj. Since this event took place at the same time as the pastime of Damodar churning Kartik month. Indra worshipping took place during this month, for according to the custom and scripture, worship of Govardhan, which replaced worship of Indra, takes place on the first lunar day of the waxing moon in Kartik month. Autaman is described, say autumn, it should be autumn. Autumn is described as follows. Puragrama gramesho agranayahi indriyaischa mahotsvaihi. In all the towns and villages, people held great festival, performing the Vedic fire sacrifice for honoring the and tasting the first grain of the new harvest. 10:20:48. According to the phrase Indram Indriya Kamasto, one should worship Indra to fulfill all desire of the senses. 2:33. Indra was the Devata worshipped by at this time. She remembered with great affection all the songs about Krishna that she sung in the assembly as she churned the yogurt. When there was opportunity for singing, she sang. The word cha indicates she also remembered all other songs as well, or she churned the yogurt and sang also. She sang the songs of the various poets and those she composed at that instant. Now the pastime of Lord's being bound by the rope, since he was not fully satisfied with the bliss of being scolded in his rasa. This is the reason. Nobody has, Mother Yashoda has not yet scolded him. Of being affectionate to the devotees. He desired the bliss of being controlled by his devotees. Yashoda was called most fortunate. She even more fortunate than Nanda. Her greater fortune is described now. Yashoda means she who gives fame. She gave fame to Krishna as the person who is controlled by his devotee. As the wife of Nanda, she had many servant girls. One day, when all the servants were engaged in the duties in the house other than churning the yogurt and stirring the milk for her son, she began churning only the yogurt to make butter to feed her son. It should be impossible to churn the yogurt from all the milk of unlimited cows. She constantly churned nirmananta to make the best butter. She sang all the songs famous in the world or in Braj concerning the activities of her child. She sang about a killing of the Putna, etc. While churning the yogurt, she remembered those songs because her heart was overcome by her affection and because the pastime were amazing. Are always remembering the activities of her son and sang about them, taking shelter of the singing. By her nature, she had eagerness. She has engaged the servants in other duties so that she could churn the yogurt herself in order to sing about her son's activities with great affection, and this was by the desire of Lord to be tied up. Next verse. Kaushamam vasa prathu katitate vibhrati sutranadham putra sneha sunata kucha yugam jata kampam च शुभ्रो रज्ज्वाकृष्य शरमभुज्य चलत कङ्कणकुण्डले च शिवेन्नं वक्तरं कबरविलगन्मालती निर्ममन्थ dressed in a saffron yellow sari with a belt tied about her full hips. Mother Yashoda pulled on churning rope, laboring considerably, her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating, and her whole body shaking. Because of her intense love for her child, her breasts were wet with milk. Her face, with its very beautiful eyebrows, was wet with perspiration, and multi flowers were falling from her ears. This is the nice purport for Raganoga Vatsalya Bhakta, those who want to practice. Anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yashoda. It is not that one should desire to become like Yashoda, for this is Mayavad. Either in parental affection or conjugal love, friendship or servitorship, in any way, we must follow in the footstep of the inhabitant of Vrindavan, not try to become like them. Therefore, this description is provided here. Advanced devotees must cherish this description, always thinking of Mother Yashoda's features, how she was dressed, how she was working and perspiring, how beautifully the flowers were arranged in her hairs, and so on. One should take advantage of full description provided here by thinking of Mother Yashoda in maternal affection for Krishna. This verse presents the ideal of motherly affection for Krishna. Anyone interested in cultivating Vatsalya Bhava, parental love, should meditate upon the bodily form, qualities, features, and affection of Mother Yashoda described here. Yashoda's yellow sari, Kaushamam, was very fine, being made from the fiber of a atsi tree. Usually when we do worship or some work for worship cooking, usually either the silk cloth or the woolen cloth should be worn because they are not contaminated. But usually silk is after killing the silkworm. But this silk from actually this this is the alsi tree, the atsi tree here says, this which is a bluish in color flower. It has color of the flower are blue, and the fiber is very fine and yellowish in color. According to the Karam Deepika, Yashoda's complexion was black and yellow sari was very wonderful. But the other book says Yashoda was fair. She wore a belt around her full hips while churning the butter. Beauty of the Yashoda's limb is indicated just by mentioning her wide hips, moving eyebrows, and tinkling bangles. Three things. Her arms, tired from churning, and her swathing face both shone. Multi flowers fell like drops of rain from Yashoda's beautiful hair, which are blacker than the rain cloud. Malti flowers are considered like the hymns of the Vedas, and the people want to keep them on the head. But when somebody is actually serving the Supreme Lord, like Mother Yashoda, these flowers were feeling, embraced. They said, no, we cannot be on the head of such a great devotee. We should be at her feet. So they are falling down with that feeling. Describe Yashoda because of manifestation of affection for her as a mother having unalloyed affection for Krishna. He shows her qualification by her beauty. He means Sukdev shows her qualification by her beauty and affection. Why Sukdev as a sannyasi describing so closely and minutely Yashoda's earring moving on the cheek, her face perspiring, her cloth wet with the milk? Sukdev knows that if you focus on Yashoda, in a moment the Krishna will come and sit on the lap of Yashoda. So just you stand behind Yashoda, you will see Krishna. The description of her eyes, brows and hips indicate, as well as the beauty of her other limbs, though they are not mentioned. So this is her beauty. The beauty of her dress is indicated by her cloth and belt. Kausam means linen cloth made from the flax. This is a flax seed. This is called alsi pushpa. This had a thin appearance and was of various colors, including shades of yellow. According to the Karma Deepika, her complexion is black, Yashoda. But yellow, according to the Gautamya Tantra, she is yellowish in color. The cloth was tied with a cord having great beauty. It means usually when they do hard work, they tie the belt around their waist. And she was sitting on some raised chair. She's an elderly gopi. She's sitting on a chair and churning butter, or churning yogurt for getting butter. Or the cord was used to tie her petticoat while she churned the yogurt. Beauty of her natural ornament is described. She pulled the rope and her earrings swayed. Her hair was tied up with jasmine flower, which grow profusely during Kartik month. The suffix ka is optional in the compound kabra, vigalan marti. Her affection is described. Milk dripped from her breast out of affection for her son. Her breast moved because of her singing about Krishna's pastime. Joy was expressed by movement of her eyebrows. What she was doing is, she was just oftentimes looking to the next room where Krishna was sleeping and thinking, oh, he's sleeping, good. I should make a butter ready and then I wake him up and then I'll feed him butter. So this is the thought in Yashoda's mind. Having shown her skill in singing as qualification for being the Lord's mother, her beauty and her dress at that time are described. She wore yellow silk. Silk is important. According to the scripture, she had a dark complexion, and thus the combination of yellow was spectacular. The belt tied on her waist enhanced her beauty. Or to churn the yogurt, she had tightly tied her belt. Her breast moved with milk out of affection for her son. This affection arose naturally, or because she had been singing about her son. The movement of her eyebrows increased her beauty. Her earring also swayed. Jasmine fell from her bound hair. Absence of the This verse depicted her manifestation of affection. Oh, one more verse. Tan stanya kamasadya mathantim jananim hari grahitva dadhi manthanam nyashedita pritim avan. Tam means Yashodas. Stanya Kama, Krishna wanted to have breast milk. Kama, he had developed a desire. Asadya, he wanted to, came there. To whom? Manthanim, Manthantim, one who was churning. Who was she? Jananim, she was her mother. And who is he? Hari. He is Hari. What did he do when he came there? Grahitva dadhi manthanam. He He, he, he came there and saw her eyes are closed and she is singing about Krishna and churning. And so he thought for a while. He said, he's singing my name. He's churning yogurt for feeding me butter. I am standing in front and she's not looking at me. And he thought, what should I do? And he immediately caught hold of that churning rod and she opened eyes. Nyashidit, he stopped her work. How he came? Pritim avahan, because it is because of love of mother. He just came there. So I think these are very wonderful words. While Mother Yashoda was churning butter, Lord Krishna desiring to, he's Atmaram, he don't know anything, but now he desire. Of her breast appeared before her in order to increase her transcendental pleasure, Preet. He caught hold of churning rod and began to prevent her from churning. Krishna was sleeping within the room. But when Krishna was sleeping, that is good. But when Yashoda was saying, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopal Jai Jai, Krishna says, I promised to the Narad, whenever my devotees sing, I go there. Now my mother is singing, if I don't go, people won't believe me. So he woke up and he looked on the bed, where's Mama, Mama, where's Ma? But he don't only heard the churning of the yogurt, dum, dum, and then the bangles churning, chung, chung, and then Govinda Gopal. So it is kirtan going on. So he walked and came there. And when he came there, as soon as he got up, he became hungry. My mother used to feed me milk when I wake up. Today she is not here. Where is she? And then he went there, wanting to stop her from churning and drink the milk of her breast. He stopped her from moving the churning rod. This is a competition between mother and son started right here. Yashoda said, I want to feed you butter. He said, no, I don't want butter from the cow's milk. I want your milk. And here, Krishna will win and Yashoda will lose. But this competition will continue. Yashoda wanted to tie and Krishna don't want to be tied. Ultimately, Krishna lose and Yashoda win. That is the beauty of this pastime. Krishna started crying from hunger upon waking in the morning. Leaving his room, Krishna approached Yashoda and held churning rod to indicate she would stop churning and attend to him. And Yashoda's bills increased unlimitedly upon receiving Krishna's cleverness. Oh, he's so strong and so intelligent. He stopped my work. And this is another lesson for mothers. If the baby is hungry, stop all work and feed baby immediately. Don't baby wait. So Yashoda did that. Hungry according to his infant pastime, filled with the affection for his mother, he desired her milk. How can God be hungry? He feed whole world, not whole world, all unlimited universes. He approached Yashoda filled with affection for him, Janani Mari, since she was his mother. Sukdev described Krishna's inner emotion. By this she attained complete avahan, happiness because of his attempt to drink her milk, because of his ability to stop her churning, and because of his cleverness by grabbing the rod. Yashoda was very happy. By this she attained complete happiness, avahan. Because of how many things? Because of his attempt to drink her milk, because of his ability to stop her churning, and third, because of his cleverness to grabbing rod. He was the most attractive at this time, Hari. It should be understood that he had just risen from bed, since churning was usually done during early morning in Kartik month, and he had not yet met his friends. It's early morning time. I think we leave it here. We'll start from verse 5 tomorrow. I think our time is over. Okay. Yes, devotees, any other comment or question or okay? We end it here. 4 persons disappeared. It means we close it here. Okay, Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha.